Today we're picking the winners and losers from the NFL draft, breaking down these rookies, and framing Stephen A. Smith for a crime worthy of a podcast. Not sure about that last one. We might not have time for all three. We're looking at tape, metrics, stats, even contracts to aid in our reckless and baseless predictions. Plus, I'll profess my love for one unexpected player. I am not afraid of this depth chart. This man is a golden god. We're ripping through every team, and we're doing it by division. This is the AFC West. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm a guy, he's a guy. Let's talk football already. Denver Broncos. Nuts to mock drafts. Sean Payton doesn't value players like you do. Or possibly at all. Winners. RJ Harvey. He could microwave broccoli in the break room and they'd still start him. Abuse this power, rookie. Abuse it. Losers. Jaquan McMillan. He was a bright spot for the defense last year. This year, they nearly tripped over themselves running to the stage to draft his replacement. In the second round, they took RJ Harvey, running back out of UCF. Harvey is shifty, showing good lateral movement in and out of his cuts. He's got good speed and vision. He plays bigger than his size, able to take on tacklers and play with physicality. His comp is Chase Brown. Harvey is 5'8", 205 pounds. He runs a 4.40. That's tons of speed and a tiny package, but I could see him adding some weight as a pro. He's got an 89th percentile burst and an RAS of 8.49. In college, he had 3,792 yards rushing, 61 receptions, 720 yards receiving, 47 total touchdowns. And if you're wondering, what up with 2021? He missed it all due to a torn ACL. The depth chart is Audric Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin, Tyler Beatty, and Blake Watson. Estime is 21 years old. He's a 5th-round pick from last year. I liked him better than his draft capital, but his poor 40 time really hurt him a lot. Jaleel McLaughlin is 24 years old. He's on the final year of his contract. Beatty is 25 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. He was drafted by the Ravens, and he has a lot of frequent flyer miles between the 53 and the practice squad. Watson's 25 years old. He was a UDFA from last year. He's in the final year of his contract. The depth behind Harvey could be a week-to-week headache. I'd expect Estime to get second reps as he's the bigger back and bring something different to the table, but we really won't know until we see it. Any one of these guys could see the field in a given week, and likely it won't add up to much. RJ Harvey is Sean Payton's guy. How do I know this? Because the rest of the backfield is a 5th-round pick, a 6th-round pick, and 2 UDFAs. This is Sean Payton's first major investment in the position since he's come to Denver here, and they went 1 to 2 rounds earlier than Harvey's draft projection. They targeted him, they got him. Harvey will share time with the rest of this backfield, but I'm not concerned at all. I think that RJ Harvey is a do-it-all back, and you can trust him from day one in fantasy. And he'll only get better. In the 3rd round, they took Pat Bryant, wide receiver out of Illinois. He's a good route runner who can manipulate defenders. He's got excellent body control, a physical receiver that can work in traffic. He's not the fastest. I didn't see any breakaway speed. I wrote 2 things when I watched his tape. Quietly impressive, gets open. NFL.com projected him to go in the 6th. His comp was listed as Kaderil Hodge. I don't think either one of those things should be believed. Bryant is 6'2", 204 pounds. He runs a 4.61 with a 73rd percentile burst. The last receiver I liked that ran a 40 that bad was Riley Ridley, but he didn't show burst like that. I think that's an important distinction, and the only thing that saves an abysmal 40 time. He's got an RAS of 7.08. In college, he had 137 receptions for 2,095 yards receiving, 19 total touchdowns. The depth chart is Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims Jr., Devon Vele, Troy Franklin, and Trent Sherfield. Sutton is 29 years old. Last year, he led the Broncos in all things receiving. He's on the final year of his contract. He's looking for a new one. Mims is 23 years old. He's got 2 years left on his deal. I loved him coming out of college. He saw an increase in targets at the end of last season, finishing with 4 touchdowns in the final 2 games. Can it roll over into this season is the question. Vele is a 26-year-old 7th-round draft pick from last year. He got a lot of camp hype and worked his way onto the field. After Sutton, Vele saw the most targets by a receiver here last year. Franklin was a 4th-round pick from last year. He had a few good plays last year. We haven't scratched the surface of what he could be. but also, we don't know how he'll fit into this offense. There's a lot of overlap between him and Marvin Mims. Unlike the running back position, the Broncos have piled draft picks into the receiver position. A second, a third, a fourth. They've drafted 4 receivers in the last 3 years. Courtland Sutton will be the wide receiver 1 here again this year, but after? Even at 29, he is set for a big contract, an expensive one. If the Broncos don't or can't re-sign him, they can replace his size, speed, and volume, just not all with one guy. Bryant gets full checks despite the fact that I don't really love his metrics. 2 of these checks could actually be red flags. As a rookie, I think he's capped. His ceiling is the number 3 target here behind Courtland Sutton and Evan Ingram, and even that's going to be difficult to reach considering this depth chart. But next year? I really have no idea. I don't think the Broncos telegraphed anything here about the future by drafting Pat Bryant. 3rd round draft capital doesn't say a ton. Re-signing Courtland Sutton should be the priority here. And if they can't, Bryant feels more like a backup plan. Plus, there's still a whole nother draft and free agency to get through before they even have to deal with that. So would I invest in Bryant for Dynasty? Yes, but I don't mind risk. And if I had 10 drafts to do in a row, I probably wouldn't make the same pick every single time. His current ADP has him right next to Jalen Royals, and I'll talk about his finer points in just a bit. It would be super cool if you were to like this video. Just give it a little click there, a little clicksy, a little clickaroon, a little Leonardo DiCaprio. Los Angeles Chargers. Last year's playoff loss yielded some valuable lessons for this draft. Winners! Justin Herbert. It turns out he needs more than just 1 wide receiver. The Chargers obliged. Losers! Quentin Johnston. The depth chart must be covered in lube because he just keeps sliding down it. In the 2nd round, they took Tre Harris, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. He's an outstanding route runner. He's very physical. He's good at changing his speed, getting in and out of his breaks. I've seen him comp to Alec Pierce, which I don't get at all. To me, he's more like a faster version of Josh Palmer. Harris is 6'2", 205 pounds. He runs a 4.54 with an 81st percentile burst. He's got an RAS of 9.23. In college, he had 5 years of production between Ole Miss and Louisiana Tech. 220 receptions, 3,532 yards receiving, 29 total touchdowns. The depth chart is Ladd McConkey, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnston, Darius Davis, and Keandre Lambert-Smith. McConkey is 23 years old. Last year, he led the team in receptions and set a rookie franchise record. Williams is 30 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. Johnston is 23 years old. He has 2 years left on his rookie deal. I've been skeptical of Johnson since day 1. I still haven't seen anything to change my mind. Darius is 24 years old. He has 2 years left on his contract. He showed pretty well at the end last year. He'll always be a depth piece. Lambert-Smith is a 5th round pick from this draft, and I will break him down in a bit. Tre Harris wasn't a top 5 wide receiver in this draft. He was actually 6th, and it felt a little like he was being slept on. Like, as the draft approached, people just got bored of talking about him. But do not overlook him in your rookie drafts. He will be Justin Herbert's ex-receiver here, and you want in on that. In the 5th round, they took Keandre Lambert-Smith, wide receiver out of Auburn. Who is this man? He's tall, shows decent speed, strikes me as just another college receiver though. I'm not really sure what the Chargers saw here. I guess he showed well at the Shrine Bowl. Personally, I don't think he offers more than Darius Davis. His uncle is Cam Chancellor. That's just interesting. His comp was Darius Slayton. Lambert-Smith is 6'1", 190 pounds. He runs a 4.37 with a 55 percentile burst. So you like all that. That's good stuff. He's got an RAS of 9.03. In college, he had 5 years of production between Penn State and Auburn with 176 receptions, 2,702 yards receiving, 19 total touchdowns. That last year at Auburn was really productive. I was intrigued by this pick, but ultimately left confused by it. I do think that it says something that they chose a wide receiver there. I just don't think it says that much in the one that they chose. It would have made more sense to me if they had picked Tony Horton or Jimmy Horn Jr. I can't make a case for Keandre Lambert-Smith in Dynasty, and I don't think I'm alone. Fantasy Pros shows him as the wide receiver 26, behind 7th round pick Tez Johnson. In the 5th round, they took Oronde Gadsden II, tight end out of Syracuse. The 2.0 is finally available. He's got a massive catch radius. He's a former wide receiver who converted to tight end. I was not a fan of his tape before the draft. I ranked him near the bottom at the position. His father was a wide receiver for 6 seasons with the Dolphins and caught Dan Marino's final touchdown. You're killing me with the trivia! Gadsden's 6'5", 243 pounds. He runs a 4.72 with a 60th percentile burst. So he's got the size, he's got the speed. He could stand to add a few pounds though. He's got an RAS of 7.95. In college, he had 4 years of production between wide receiver and tight end, 143 receptions, 2,000 yards receiving, which I appreciate. I like round numbers. 14 total touchdowns. The depth chart is Will Dissly, Tyler Conklin, and McCallan Castles. Dissly is 28 years old. He's got 2 years left on his contract, but a potential out after this season. I don't know why, but I feel like he's held together with duct tape. Conklin is 29 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. Castles is 25 years old. He is a UDFA from last year. He's on a 1-year deal. I don't think the Chargers' future at tight end is on this roster yet. So we've got an athletic former wide receiver from a small school buried on a depth chart who probably needs time to bulk up and get coached up at the position. That smells like a developmental tight end to me, and I try never to invest in those. Most do not turn out like Darren Waller. It's always possible they use him like a big slot to get him on the field early, but that feels like a bit of a projection to me, and even if they did, it wouldn't necessarily lead to consistent fantasy points. While the depth chart does have a path to playing time here next season, that feels like too soon to me for a project tight end. I think more likely they bring in somebody else and keep developing Gadsden behind them, and for that reason, I'm out. Oronde Gadsden II is worth putting on your watch list, but I'm not looking to draft him anywhere. I think he's a bit of a trap and a roster clog. Las Vegas Raiders. For no particular reason outside of chaos, I am ready for the Raiders to be good again. But I do hope that Tom Brady goes bald in the process. Winners. Geno Smith. They added a ground game, passing options, and more line depth, all in one draft. Losers. Veteran running backs. Ashton Jeanty is so good it's not even worth talking about him. I might as well convince you of food and air. In the 2nd round, they took Bech, wide receiver out of TCU. He's got a good size, exceptional ball tracking skills. He's not the fastest guy, but he is very physical. He's hard to bring down, very tough, breaks free of tackles. The comps listed for him were Josh Palmer, Cedric Tillman, Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, basically everyone but my mailman. Bech is 6'1", 214 pounds. He runs a 4.60 with a 49th percentile burst. These numbers would typically be worrisome to me, but like I said, he's not a speed guy. This is a different animal. He's got an RAS of 9.51. In college, he had 4 years of production between LSU and TCU, 133 receptions, 1,869 yards receiving, and 13 total touchdowns. Not a ton of production, most of it came last year. The depth chart is Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton Jr., Colin Johnson, and Tommy Mellott. Myers is 28 years old. He's on the final year of his contract. He's always undervalued, and he's probably their best receiver. Tucker's 24 years old. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He flashed here and there. Geno Smith is only going to help. Colin Johnson is 27 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. I'll break down Dante Thornton Jr. and Tommy Mellott in a bit. Bech seems like the kind of player that needs volume, but I don't see any reason that he can't get that here. I think he could become their Cooper Kupp. It will be interesting to see how much they feature Brock Bowers or how much they run, but if you're looking for a reason to fade Bech, you won't find that here. His metrics, his college production, any possible questions I have about him melt away by just watching his tape. In the 4th round, they took Dante Thornton Jr., wide receiver out of Tennessee. The first thing I noticed with Thornton is he looks the part. He's a big dude with breakaway speed. But the more I watched his tape, I realized it's kind of all the same. He'll need to increase his route tree. His comp was DJ Chark, probably because of his size, but he reminded me of Darius Hayward-Bay. Thornton is 6'5", 205 pounds. He runs a 4.30 with a 38th percentile burst. It's like watching a yardstick in a hurricane. He's got an RAS of 9.85. In college, he had 4 years of production between Oregon and Tennessee, 65 yards, 1,426 yards receiving, 10 total touchdowns. That is not a ton of production, but he did lead his team in receptions last year. They drafted Thornton before Arian Smith, Jalen Lane, Jalen Royals, and Alec Aomanor. Somebody in the Raiders organization felt some kind of way about Thornton Jr. In the short term, I see them giving him a few targets a game as a deep threat, but for the long term, I want to see more. I want to know that he gets more than 2 targets a game. Otherwise, he'll suffer from new additions in this depth chart next season. Fantasy Pros has Thornton listed as the wide receiver 20, just before Jalen Lane, which feels like somebody played a game of who should you draft before Jalen Lane? Wrong answers only. I caution anyone from getting too excited about his metrics or this depth chart here. He's not one to target. He's worth rostering, but he's barely getting drafted in deep leagues, so go poach him off the waiver wire after if you're interested. In the 6th round, they took Tommy Mellott, wide receiver out of Montana State. The Raiders knew something we didn't, like who Tommy Mellott is. He's a quarterback. I mean, not anymore. Not when you're super fast and brimming with intangibles. Oh, they love intangibles. Mellott is 5'11", 200 pounds. He runs a 4.39. He's got an RAS of 9.28. Who cares about his college stats? None of that matters now. The Raiders have their own Julian Edelman. And how long could that possibly take to pay off? Like a week? 2? Mellott has plenty of athleticism and he's a good ball carrier, but we have no idea what he's like as a route runner yet. If you didn't get the Julian Edelman reference there, he was a quarterback that was drafted by the Patriots in the 7th round to play wide receiver. He played as a rookie due to injury, but he didn't get regular playing time and become fantasy gold for 5 years. Until then, he was just depth and special teams. So if you're looking for a sneaky guy to grab that your league mates don't know about yet, this ain't it. Not yet. Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs loaded up on absolute nobodies that will undoubtedly be destined for Canton someday. Winners. Patrick Mahomes. No quarterbacks drafted. He's safe for another year. Losers. Skyy Moore. It's just a motif. In the 3rd round, they took Ashton Gelati, edge out of Louisville. He collapses the pocket with power. Geez, at least buy me dinner first. He's a solid tackler with good instincts. He shows decent athleticism, but he's not exactly quick off the snap. Gelati is 6'3", 264 pounds. He runs a 4.70 with a 78th percentile burst. He's got an RAS of 9.75. In college, he had 4 years of production with 131 combined tackles, 26.5 sacks, 4 fumbles forced. The depth chart is George Karlaftis and Charles Omenihu. Karlaftis is 24 years old. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Omenihu is 27 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. Gelati is an intriguing prospect, but knowing this team, short of injury, it's going to take some time and he's going to get slow-rolled into the lineup. It could even take years. I'm not investing in Ashton Gelati and IDP. I will seek my entertainment elsewhere. In the 4th round, they took Jalen Royals, wide receiver out of Utah State. He could play inside or out. He's very instinctive. He's a first down machine. Royals was projected to go as high as the 2nd round. The Chiefs got him in the 4th. His comp was Michael Gallup, which I do not see, and Randall Cobb, which makes a lot more sense. But I have my own comp. Take your eyes out, turn him around, put him back in. I see Deebo Samuel. Not everything he does, but the broken arm tackles, bouncing off defenders. He fights for yards after first contact. Royals is 6 foot, 200 pounds. He runs a 4.42 with a 52nd percentile burst. He's got an RAS of 9.01. In college, he had 126 receptions, 1,914 yards receiving, 21 total touchdowns. Not as many years under the belt as others, but 2 very productive years. He also missed the final 5 games of his last season due to a foot injury, but he's healthy now. The depth chart is Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Skyy Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Tyquan Thornton. Worthy is 22 years old. He's a first-round pick from last year. Rice is 25 years old. His hobbies include midday street racing in public and season-ending knee surgery. He has 2 years left on his contract. Hollywood Brown is 27 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. Skyy Moore. Everybody told me to draft Skyy Moore because he's the next Tyreek Hill, which is why I do these evaluations myself now. He's 24 years old. He's on the final year of his deal. Smith-Schuster is 28 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. He is a useless turd. Thornton is 24 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. Jalen Royals is the goddamn cat's pajamas, and if you think being stuck behind this depth chart poops on my parade, then you are gravely mistaken. I am not afraid of this depth chart. This man is a golden god. He's a great player who went to a great coach, and his quarterback he's fine. He's fine. Fantasy Pros currently has Jalen Royals' ADP about 30th overall. Too low. I will not tolerate this indignity. Choosing between him and Pat Bryant? Okay, there's a conversation to be had, but choosing between him and Woody Marks? Come on, just get out of here. Be serious, people. In the 7th round, they took Brashard Smith, running back out of SMU. Smith is a converted wide receiver. He changed to running back at SMU, and it went pretty well. He shows quick change of direction, speed around the corner, bounces off tacklers, a threat on the ground or through the air with breakaway speed. He was projected to be drafted 2 to 3 rounds earlier. His comp is Nyheim Hines. Smith is 5'10", 194 pounds. He runs a 4.39 with a 26th percentile burst. So he's a wee skinny for the position. But with that speed, he could add a few pounds without it affecting him too much. He's got an RAS of 7.21. In college, he had 4 years of production between Miami of Florida and SMU. 1,509 yards rushing, 109 receptions, 1,097 yards receiving, 23 total touchdowns. He also fumbled 4 times last season. The depth chart is Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, and Elijah Mitchell. Pacheco is 26 years old. He missed a chunk of last year after he fractured his fibula in week 2. He's on the final year of his contract. Hunt is 29 years old. He's on the final year of his contract. Mitchell is 27 years old. He's missed 24 games in the last 2 years, including all of last season. He's a good player, but it feels like his body doesn't want him to play football. He's on a 1-year deal. Nobody here is signed past this season. 2 are coming off injury. 1 will be 30 next season. There is room for Brashard Smith here. A 7th round pick generally has about 10 to 15% chance of making an NFL roster and about a 5% chance of becoming a starter. But you also don't usually see a 7th round pick with full checks here, or one that goes to a team that doesn't really care about draft stock. I could see Brashard Smith filling the role left here by Jerick McKinnon. Smith's better suited to it than Hunt or Pacheco. He could easily fill that pass-catching, middle-of-the-field option, someone who can turn a dump-off pass into chunk yardage. The only reason to fade Smith is he's not a full-time back. He won't be someone that's consistent for you, but he could be the kind of depth player for your roster that could save you during a bye week or due to injury. Now, Smith isn't free. He's a sneaky late grab, but people already know about him. He's a good one to target super late in your rookie drafts. Don't let him slide past you. Thank you for watching Shut Up Football. If you liked this video, please check out the other divisions as well. Leave your comments below. Say hi to your mom for me, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Bring me the heads of all those who oppose me in fantasy. Have them paraded before me.